Hello, I'm Peter Devereaux with Digital Authority Partners. One of the primary services that we provide for our clients is pay-per-click or PPC advertising management. Pay-per-click advertising can play an integral role in the digital marketing strategy of any business. However, not every business has the manpower expertise necessary to ensure that their PPC is being properly executed. That's where our agency comes in. Our team of specialists work to continuously optimize our clients' PPC campaigns so that they obtain the highest return on ad spend possible, ensuring that their advertising dollars are not being wastefully spent. In this video, we'll cover the fundamentals of creating a PPC campaign. To start us off, pay-per-click advertising is exactly what it sounds like. It's an advertising format where you pay each time a user clicks on your ad. While PPC can be applied several ways, it's primarily associated with search engine marketing. PPC allows you to capitalize on the search intent of a user. That is, displaying your ads to users precisely when they're searching for the products or services you provide. This makes it one of the most powerful tools a marketer has in their toolbox. PPC differs from search engine optimization or SEO, as PPC is strictly paid placements. Depending on your business's products or services, SEO can take months or even years to rank. The search term that you hope to rank for might actually be unobtainable. But PPC provides a much faster and trackable opportunity to showcase your products and services to these potential customers. Today, PPC is primarily associated with Google, Bing, or Amazon search engines. Google is undoubtedly the largest platform available. Over 90% of searches take place on Google. But they actually weren't the first in what PPC has become today. Shortly after Google launched in 1996, a company called GoTo created the first pay-for-placement advertising service. GoTo developed a bidding ecosystem that allowed advertisers to bid for the top placement shown to a user when they search for a specific keyword. Google was reluctant at first to offer advertising in a bidding method. They initially offered advertising more on an impression-based level, but they finally succumbed and offered PPC bidding in 2002. Yahoo acquired Google in 2003. Today, Yahoo is essentially defunct. It was ultimately acquired by Microsoft's Bing, but Bing has never truly emerged as a major player in the search marketplace. As Google owns so much of the search market space, in this video, we're going to primarily focus on Google Ads. Google AdWords was launched in late 2000, and as I mentioned before, they started selling advertising purely on number of impression blocks. This didn't work too well for advertisers, and Google was not earning nearly as much as GoTo or Yahoo. So that all changed in 2002 when AdWords began offering a hybrid solution, PPC plus relevance. This is important to remember. On Google, it's not simply the highest bidder. Google serves ads based on what they call ad rank. Ad rank is a combination of your bid and the quality score they've assigned to your ad. The quality score is made up of the expected click-through rate, how relevant your ad copy is to the search term, and how relevant the landing page is that you're driving the traffic to. This results in a better experience for both advertisers and users. The ad that will be displayed is not solely the highest paying one, but the one that is most relevant to what you're searching for. Today, Google AdWords is part of Google Ads product. Google Ads includes many products, including search, display, shopping, video, or local ads. For the purposes of this video, we're going to be focused on Google's search ads. To set up a Google search ads campaign, you want to ensure that the following elements are set up correctly. These include campaign budget and bidding, ad groups, keywords, negative keywords, audiences, and the ads themselves. The first step you'll take in creating your PPC campaign is setting your daily budget. This budget isn't strictly adhered to on a daily basis. It can bend, but it will average out over the course of time. The keywords that you're bidding on will likely have an impact on how you set your daily budget. Many keywords are affordable, but some are very expensive. You can set a maximum cost per click, which is a good safeguard to have, as some clicks can cost hundreds or even thousands of dollars. But if you're bidding too low on a keyword that has a very high cost per click, you're likely to see little to no traffic. Once you've launched your campaign and you don't see many impressions or obtain any traffic at all, you might need to reevaluate your daily budget or the keywords that you're bidding on. The next item you need to consider is how you want your bidding to be implemented. Originally, campaigns were all based on driving clicks. Today, Google deters you from setting your campaign to click or impression share. Instead, they steer you to conversion-based bidding. Conversion-based bidding came about many years ago. Initially, you would place a conversion pixel on your thank you or checkout page. Today, they can be tied to any goal that you set in your Google Analytics account. If you're selling a product via e-commerce, a conversion would probably still take place on a thank you or checkout page. But if you're a B2B professional services provider or similar, you might more likely consider a lead form submission to be a conversion. A conversion can truly be whatever you set it to be. Once you've established what your conversion and goals are, Google will then serve your ads and optimize serving them to drive as many conversions as possible. This does make sense for newcomers, even though it does take a bit more work to get started. However, it is possible that this could have a negative effect on your campaign. For example, perhaps your landing page gets many conversions for leads, but they don't ultimately convert to sales. This could be that Google has found a way to drive conversions among particular segments, but those segments don't ultimately convert into true sales. It's important to constantly monitor this and adjust your campaign settings to ensure that Google is promoting your ad to those that are actually likely to convert into true sales. If you're very familiar with PPC, I recommend sticking to the original clicks-based optimization. The next item on your campaign setup is network settings. Google will try and place your search ads on their display network AdSense by default. The display network is great for retargeting, but if you're not setting up a retargeting campaign that's explicitly targeting those who've already clicked on a search ad and didn't convert, it somewhat defeats the value. They'll try and serve your ads on pages that are somewhat similar, but it doesn't replicate what true search intent provides. In the example shown, you'll see that I'm seeing a search ad that's being retargeted from a website that I use to track my time. But I'm not actually searching for a time tracking solution. It's just showing that ad as I browsed. If you're just getting started, I would recommend disabling the display network option until you've truly found a need for additional exposure. Another setting that Google sets by default is sending your ads to their search partners. An example of this shown is our own site search at digitalauthority.me's website. Our site search is a Google product, Google site search, and we are an AdSense partner. If we were to enable ads, we could show ads that are related to any search term that's searched on our website, and Google will even give us 50% of what you pay. But it doesn't truly have the same effect as someone searching on Google. We don't enable this, as someone searching our site would probably just be presented with ads of our competitors. But most of the publishers your ad would be shown on are blogs or news websites as they're browsing around. The users on these sites are less likely to be searching for products or services as opposed to just browsing the partner's website. They might click on your ad if they find it interesting, but it's likely got a lower likelihood of converting into a sale. Similar to the display network, I would disable the partner network until you've truly reached a point where you need additional exposure for particular keywords that have proven to convert at a high level. Next is location targeting. As simple as this is, I've seen companies waste tens of thousands of dollars on clicks in markets they don't even serve. On the other side of this, I've seen companies who have set very strict targeting and lost out on many potential sales without realizing that it was this setting that was limiting them. Google Ads allows you to target in extremely focused areas. You can target on a country, state, county, or city level. They also offer metropolitan areas, zip codes, many more. You can choose either to include or exclude any of these areas. Additionally, they allow you to target based on whether they're actually in the area physically, if they're regularly in the area, or if they're just searching for that area. This means I could set a campaign to strictly target the city of Chicago, but allow some wiggle room, perhaps a suburban resident who's regularly in the city, to see my ad. I could also set it to Chicago, but allow someone in, say, California who's searching for Chicago businesses to see my ad. Another major element of location targeting is that your cost per click will vary greatly based on where you're targeting. Remember that this is a bidding ecosystem. The prices that you pay are highly determined based on the local competition. Some areas might have a lot of competition and some might have no competition at all. For example, one of the most expensive PPC keywords is for personal injury attorneys. Clicks for these campaigns average in the hundreds and thousands of dollars even. However, this average is driven up highly in city centers. Clicks are much more affordable in less competitive areas, rural or suburban areas. It's important to constantly monitor where your conversions are coming from and adjust your settings accordingly. If the keywords that you're bidding on vary in cost by location, it could be best to set up separate campaigns for these locations and track and gauge their profitability separately. You might find that some areas are more valuable than others. The next step is audience targeting. Google provides audience targeting in either targeting or observation modes. In targeting, you're truly limiting the exposure to the segments that you've selected. In observation, you're not limiting your exposure, but you are allowing yourself to bid differently across those segments. It's important to remember that the demographics that they provide are not 100% accurate. Many of them are assumed by Google. For example, Google allows you to target parents of children of certain ages. You never told Google your child's age. They've just assumed it based on your search history. When you do target these segments, just know that there will be some leakage, but generally it's better than including entirely unknown audiences to view and click your ads. Now that you've set up your campaign settings, you can begin to make ad groups. Ad groups will contain the keywords you'll be bidding on, as well as the ads that will be displayed to those users. The targeting parameters we just discussed at the campaign level, many of them can be applied to ad groups as well. You can set ad groups to particular locations or demographics, and that allows you to shape the ad copy to be most relevant to that group. This can be a bit tricky. As you evaluate and adjust your ad group settings, you need to ensure that the campaign settings don't contradict the ones that you're trying to set up. How many ad groups you create is largely influenced by what you're trying to market. If you have dozens of products, you'll likely have dozens of ad groups. In this example I'm showing, I have two campaigns, one for the Chicago market and one for the San Diego market. In each campaign, I've set up 5 different ad groups, one for each of the separate services I'd like to advertise. Your setup would likely be in a similar format, depending on how many locations or variations of products you provide. Within each ad group, you'll finally set the keywords you'd like to bid on. Keywords can be set to exact, phrase, or broad match. Exact match will always be the most accurate. But with that accuracy comes more expense, competition, and a more limited inventory. Phrase match allows for some flexibility on the search term, and broad match can allow quite a bit of flexibility, perhaps even too much. In the example above, we're showing a keyword of lawn mowing service. By using exact match, your ad will appear for users searching for lawn mowing service or grass cutting service, essentially synonymous search terms and highly related to what you're actually bidding on. By using phrase match, this can expand your ad exposure to search terms such as lawn mowing services near me, hire company to mow lawn, landscaping services that cut grass. Not exactly what you're bidding on, but fairly close to the service you're providing. It allows some flexibility in how the user actually searches on Google. By using broad match, however, you're including items as far as lawn aeration prices. Does your lawn mowing service also provide aeration services? Is this user even searching for a service? Broad match can allow you to capture cheaper, somewhat relevant traffic. Maybe the searcher does need a service similar to yours. Perhaps you might want to try a broad match to see what the results are, but beware when you do. Broad match can also include your ad in high budget keywords that will churn through your budget in a single click. If you're going to engage in phrase and broad match, you want to ensure that your ad is as specific as possible to the actual product or service that you're advertising. But even with a highly accurate ad, you'll still want to constantly track how these clickers are performing and how many actual sales you're getting from them. You might be pleasantly surprised, or you might waste a lot of advertising dollars. Negative keywords are keywords that you would not want to show your ads on. When you start advertising on phrase or broad match, you're bound to start seeing clicks from highly irrelevant search terms. By adding these search terms to your negative keywords list, you can ensure that your ad dollars aren't wasted again later down the line. For example, here I'm bidding on web design. I see that broad match has included the word Wix. While Wix is somewhat associated with web design, most Wix users are building their own website and not seeking a web design company. By adding Wix to my negative keywords list, I can ensure that those searches no longer see my ads, and I no longer have clicks from users who are less likely to convert and eat at my ad budget. After your keywords are in place, it'll finally become time to create your ads. Google does allow you to create fixed ads, combinations of headlines and descriptions that will entice a searcher to click to your website. However, when you're getting started, responsive search ads is a great tool in helping identify which ads work the best for your audience. In responsive search ads, you'll set up to 15 headlines and 4 descriptions. Google will then shuffle these into various combinations and over time learn which ads provide the highest click-through rates. You might find that the ones most likely to be clicked on are less likely to convert, or those that are less likely to be clicked on are convert at a much higher rate. You can continue to run responsive search ads and allow Google to optimize the service of them, or you can take the winning combinations and create fixed ads that are proven to work. When you're writing your headlines and your ad copy, don't forget that Google serves ads not solely on your bid, but also your ad relevance. The more closely related the ad is to your keywords, Google will serve it and it will cost you much less. Lastly, you'll want to add UTM parameters to your ads. UTM parameters, or urchin tracking modules, are snippets of code that you add to the end of your destination URL. They allow you to pass back key items with every ad click. UTM parameters include source, medium, campaign, term, and content. In the example above, I'm showing a hard-coded UTM source of Google, since I'm advertising on Google, and a UTM medium of CPC, since this is a cost per click campaign. However, for UTM campaign, UTM keyword or term, and UTM content, I've added a merge tag that's accepted by Google. For these fields, Google automatically put in the campaign ID, keyword, or ad group that the traffic is coming from. By passing these fields back, I can easily track in analytics how each ad and key term is performing and optimize down the line. The final element of your PPC campaign will be your destination page. One common mistake I see is that advertisers often are just driving traffic to their homepage. It might work for some businesses, but it's best to drive a user to whichever page is most relevant to the keyword that you were bidding on and they were searching for. Take the keyword web development, for example. I'm bidding on this, but I wouldn't want to drive them to the Digital Authority Partners homepage. They'd then be forced to find a page that specifically speaks to our web development services. So not only do I have a web development page, but I've also got a local web development page. In this instance, I have a Chicago web development landing page. So for my campaign advertised to the Chicago market, I use the even more relevant Chicago web development landing page. However, I've taken this even a step further. I've created another Chicago web development page that's made explicitly for the use of PPC. This is the best practice to create a page optimized that converts. In our case, it's to convert leads. You'll see that the Chicago web development page is highly relevant. It has some lead forms further down the page and pop-ups that you'd expect. You can't see it in the screenshot. It appears in the organic search results, and it's easily found on our website's taxonomy and menu for anyone who lands on our website and needs to navigate to it. However, when you're paying for the traffic and you have a goal in mind, you want them to land on a page that's geared to make them convert to that goal. In this case, I want the user to see that I offer a free estimate for web development services, and I provide the easiest path possible for them to reach out and obtain that free estimate on this page. Also, by having this page, I ensure that I pay less for the ad clicks due to the high quality score and gain more conversions and a higher conversion rate due to the ease of use of the page. It's a win-win that provides a higher return on ad spend. When you're building your campaigns, you want to ensure that the destination page that you've selected is the most relevant to the searcher and gives them a clear path to what they've got to do on that page. Finally, after you've got your campaigns up and running, you need to ensure that your analytics for all these campaigns is being properly tracked. With the UTM parameters that I'm carrying over, most of the information I need to make an informed decision is already relayed into my Google Analytics. But by also pairing my Google Ads account with my Google Analytics account, I can see items such as ad spend, by keyword, actual search term. The linking of these accounts provides everything that I need in a single location, so I can track the progress of my campaigns and what the clickers are doing on my site once they actually get there. If you sell directly on your website, you can ensure that the conversion or basket value is also relayed to your Google Analytics, and you can calculate your return on ad spend right then and there. Finally, if you don't sell directly online, or even if you do, ensuring that your CRM collects the UTM parameters directly to the customer record is best practice as well. This makes attribution extremely easy. It allows you to focus your efforts and advertising dollars on campaigns and search terms that actually convert into new business. In the example above, I've tied the source, medium, and search term, as well as the campaign ID and the content ID directly to my customer record. Now in my CRM, I can identify what keywords drove a new business and how much that new business was worth. Oftentimes you'd be surprised, and might not be the ads or search terms that have the highest conversion that are the most valuable. Perhaps it's the most valuable ads convert at a much lower level and deserve more attention. That's all for today in setting up a PPC campaign. I hope you found this video helpful or learned something new. As you can see, there are many variables that need to align perfectly to ensure that you have a successful PPC campaign. If you'd like to learn more or are interested in bringing in a new PPC agency partner, please contact us today and we can discuss your business's specific needs and how we can help. Thank you for watching.